So welcome everybody to our workshop today, where we have with us Max Mirho, who's been with us before. He has talked to us a little bit about social media marketing, and today he's going to show you how you can use Facebook and Instagram ads, which are really inexpensive ways to market your business. Yeah, to market your business. So as we go along, I encourage you all, you're welcome to put your questions in the chat, and Rohan will keep an eye on that chat and let us know if there's anything in there that we need to address right away. But if not, we'll just answer most of the questions at the end. If you do want to unmute yourself and talk as we go, you can do that too. And with that, I'll pass it over to Max, who's going to talk to you a little bit more about himself and about what we're going to be covering today.
Awesome. Thank you for introducing me. I'm Max. It was actually June 24th. I was just looking back when I did the little last presentation. But last time we talked about, I think it was, how to test a startup idea using a couple different little tools, no-code tools on the internet, setting up landing pages, stuff like that. But today, I run a little service online called Entrepreneur. Every week we do live streams on different things within entrepreneurship. And that's super broad, but here's a little thing of it, that's my website. Basically, we just experiment, right? And if there's a startup idea that we have, if there's a problem that we think we want to solve, if there's a new tool that we want to test, if there's a marketing campaign we want to experiment with, we just try it. We try it out. And we do that every week on live streams. And you can check out my stuff at entrepreneur.blog. It's spelled just how you would assume it is. So that's my whole shtick. Zooming in. So today we're going to be learning about how to run Facebook ads. It was funny because I taught one of my friends that runs a podcast. She was confused. Like a lot of advanced people in business just don't really touch ads. It's really weird because marketing is some odd behind a wall, behind a curtain setup, and it's really not. Literally the only thing that you need to have when you're getting into marketing as an independent, as a freelancer, as somebody trying to run a business and sell a product, the only thing that you really need, and I can share my screen to get started with this. The only thing that really need is patience, because all of marketing is essentially just a bunch of testing. It's really just testing, and experimenting with different things. And let me know if everybody can see. I think everybody can see my screen. It says I'm screen sharing, but I just want to make sure. This is my Facebook ads manager, my whole setup. And we're going to be going through, and I'm going to be actually walking you through a campaign and what that looks like. And we'll be able to ask questions and answer questions from there. I'm hoping everybody can actually see my screen right now.
Yes, we can see it.
Awesome. Yeah. I'm going to open up the chat. I'm going to put it up on the screen so you can see any questions anybody has. Cool. Awesome. So Facebook is just one ad platform. As Tanya kind of said, it is usually almost always the cheapest. And that comes from the fact that literally everybody's on Facebook and Instagram, right? And Facebook bought Instagram. So when you go to the Facebook ads manager, you can run ads on Instagram as well as Facebook Messenger and a few other little kind of places. But whatever they own as a social media site, you can run ads on. And what an ad means, I can actually just go to my Facebook right now. We can scroll down and I'll bet I see, boom, I just got a little ad right here in the feed. This is called a feed ad. And this is by Taboola, and they are retargeting me, which is funny because that means that I visited their website and they know that I visited their website because I clicked on one of their ads before. And so they're like, he clicked on one of our ads. We should advertise more to him because he's clearly interested. But you can position these ads on Facebook anytime you want. It's super easy. It's unbelievably cheap, super inexpensive. And I'm going to show you how. So, they own Instagram too, and you can run ads on. If you've ever been scrolling through Instagram on the stories and you get a random little sponsored ad thing, that's another super simple ad that you can run. So let's just jump right in. Let's create an account, or let's create a campaign. So you go here, you create a campaign. By the way, how you get to this is Facebook Ads Manager. I go to Facebook Ads Manager, and it should bring me right here. Go to Ads Manager. If you click, and then from here, Entrepreneur, go up to here, Ads Manager, and then it should bring me to the same spot. This is the Ads Manager that I use. There are a few others. Usually if you click create an ad on that same little website that I just showed you, it'll send you to a different manager, and it's like it's designed to make it easier for people to run ads from there. It's a little bit different, and it gives you less customization. I'm going to go through the slightly more complicated version just because I feel like that kind of customization is necessary when you're actually trying to do business things. So, but yeah, you're going to run into a couple different ones because they try to make it easier for some people and simplified, or they try to make it a little bit more difficult where you have more customization. We're going to be going through the little bit more customizable version. So cool. Ads manager, awesome. I click create a campaign, and here we are. I'm going to create a new campaign. The only two that I've really used in terms of there's like 3 or 4 that are going to be really important, and I'll go through some of these. Brand awareness really isn't going to be that valuable. That's more for like large scale kind of blasts from what I've heard. Reach is really cool. So reach just shows your ad to, also this is like the objective. So it talks about how it treats your ad on Facebook Ads Manager, like what you are paying for essentially. So you pay for the objective and only the objective. So reach, it just shows it to the maximum number of people possible. And so you pay in every single like time it reaches 1,000 people. That is what it tracks, right? That is what it cares about, and that is what it optimizes for. Even if people aren't going to click on your ad necessarily, it shows it to the maximum number of people as cheaply as it possibly can to save you as much money while getting you as much reach, right? So reach is a really good thing to test ads, right? Because you can show it to the maximum number of people and test who likes it and who likes what, and it tends to be a little bit cheaper, right? Traffic is what I use for most things, and that's probably what you're going to use for most things. It gets people to actually click on the ad, right? And go to your website and go to your social media profile and go to wherever, right? But traffic is getting people to actually click on the ad and go to the place that you lead them to. And you can customize that. Engagement is like if you make a post, you run an ad on that post, it gets people to like it. So it'll optimize for people liking your post, which is good. There's actually clever little things that people have done. I haven't personally done this, but if you wanted to just like run a really big ad, right? And you were going to put like $1,000 into this ad, to get a slightly better conversion rate on people to click that, you can actually run engagement. And so you'll get like a 10,000 likes or something on this post, so that when you actually run traffic ads on it, it looks more impressive, right? Kind of like social proof. That's just a little kind of inside baseball thing. Not super important. I've never done it. It doesn't really like matter too much. But yeah, traffic is going to be the main one that you're using. And then conversions, you can actually tag, like on my website, I can grab like a pixel, a Facebook pixel for anybody that signs up via email on my website and take it a step further. And so I can actually track from the ads manager who signs up on my website. I haven't experimented with that yet. It's a little bit funky, but I'm sure there's 100 YouTube tutorials on it. But yeah, we're going to be using traffic because that's the one that almost everybody's going to be running. It's getting people to actually click the ad, right? So you want to optimize for that. You want that to be the cheapest thing. So RAC, presentation test. I'm just going to call it that. Let's say my daily budget is $5. If I just really want to test some really low cost, super simple, don't want to put a ton of cash into it, and just experiment a little bit. $5 a day, right? Let's see. Yeah, lowest cost. Let's say lowest cost. We want to save money. So continue. And this is where it gets interesting. So the way that, and you'll see this once we're finished with this, the way that almost all ad managers are set up is campaign, ad set, ad, right? And sometimes you'll even have campaign group behind campaign. But a campaign is just like, this is what we're doing, right? This is the goal of the thing. We're trying to get people to click and go to our website, right? That's the campaign. And then the ad set is, here is a group of ads that are targeted towards this specific demographic. And then the ad is like the video that you actually use. So you can put different ads to different campaigns. So let's say you have 3 ads and you want to run each of those 3 ads to 3 different like demographics: kids, middle-aged, and adults, right? Or older. And so that you're running actually 9 ads there, right? You're running all 3 of those like different videos to 3 different demographics each. And that could be under one campaign, right? But that's the general setup: campaign, ad set, ad. So we just customize the campaign. Essentially, the only thing in the campaign is the goal is traffic, right? That's all important. So that's what it optimizes for. You can send to a bunch of different things. You can send people to an app, which I think goes to any app that you register on Facebook's developer site. Yeah. So it sends them directly to like an app install page, I believe. Messenger. It actually sends them to a messenger, so you can, because chatbots and things are really popular. So if you set up a chatbot on Messenger, you could send them to the chatbot and get them into a conversation. That's an interesting little thing. I've never experimented with that, but that would be really fun to do. Same thing with WhatsApp. They bought WhatsApp, so now they have that as well. But website is what you're going to be using 99% of the time, because you can actually add a link, right? We want people to go to a URL, probably our website, to buy our thing, or Amazon page, or our YouTube channel, or I send people to my Instagram page, and I get I spent like, what was it, like $50 and got like 600 followers because I targeted it really, really low cost. There's a ton that you can do with Facebook ads. But we're going to call ad set name. We'll say, I'm going to customize this to, let's pretend that we're doing it for my audience. So my audience is high school and college kids interested in entrepreneurship. So high school kids. We'll say high school kids, and we'll target it towards high school kids here. And then the next, we'll duplicate the ad set so I can show you how to A/B test, and we'll like target that one towards college. But yeah, website, high school kids, great. You can create custom audiences. This is where we actually create the audience, right? So you can actually do this worldwide if you want to be super cheap. So the world. How do you do it again? There's a way to do worldwide. There's a certain keyword. It's is it Earth? I can't remember. No, Earth, Texas. World. Maybe it's just world. Yeah, worldwide region. Just type the whole thing. Yeah. So yeah, this goes to the entire world. And that's like the best way if you want to be like super cheap with everything. That way it optimizes and finds the cheapest kind of location. But ideally, you're probably going to want to target it more than that, right? And worldwide is not going to be best for me. What's going to be best for me is United States. It's going to be Europe, and then it's going to be Canada. Those are ones that I've seen the most luck with, right? So boom, now it's targeted towards all three of those. Generally Europe, generally the United States, and generally Canada, right? So mostly North America, some in Europe. So boom, we've got location targeting down. Usually you want to target towards a location. I will say the US is like literally like 15 times more expensive than worldwide. But people worldwide are less likely to buy, right? Because it ends up targeting a lot of people in third world countries, or people that have less buying power, or people across the world that are much cheaper because they have less buying power. So you get more exposure, but less actual conversions, right? To say a sale, right? So it's a trade-off, right? So for instance, I could target it worldwide and get a ton of Instagram followers, and that's super, super easy if you're just trying to boost numbers. But if I actually wanted like really high quality people that are like really interested, that are like trying to build real businesses, that are like really interested in my content, right? That would like subscribe and regularly come on my streams, that would probably be a whole lot more expensive. It would probably be US or Canada, because like that's more, entrepreneurship is more popular here. Entrepreneurship is actually really popular in Canada. The point is, you want to experiment, right? And you want to be targeted. You don't want to just do things for the cheapest possible location, because that doesn't end up leading to conversions that you ideally want, usually. But again, all of this is something that you should test. So cool, we've got that down. We're targeting high school kids in this one, if you remember. So I'm going to set the age from 14 to 18. Boom, all genders. Unfortunately, because of how the world works, and how business is usually pushed on boys and a bunch of other things, if I was trying to be a jerk and like I'd like really ideally target, I would probably target just guys, because that's more typically shown to them, and so the conversion is like likely to be higher there. But I think like generally, and like it would make sense if like you had a product that was more targeted towards women. That's totally fine. But in terms of this, I want to advertise to both, because I want as much like diverse participation in all of my live streams and everything that I'm doing. So I'm going to target all genders. But there are like reasons in different directions to target genders, right? And then detailed targeting. This is where it gets really interesting. So a couple examples here. Let's just say I want to target people generally that like entrepreneurship. That seemed to work really well for me. So I'm just going to say entrepreneurship, right? The size. Here's the really interesting thing. The size of entrepreneurship is 400 and almost 470 million people, right? And that means on Facebook or on Instagram, they clearly kind of like entrepreneurship, right? They have told in some way, Facebook or Facebook, I don't know, whatever way that Facebook collects information, usually it's just like, I liked a page called entrepreneurship. It will tag them that way, right? And under business and industry. I don't know, but there's plenty of different ways that Facebook and Instagram collect information based on what you like, based on the profiles that you follow, whatever. And they have tagged almost 470 million people as liking entrepreneurship. You typically want large, right? The larger your audience, the cheaper it's going to be because they can target a whole bunch of different people that way, right? But again, the deeper you target, the more expensive it's going to be, but maybe the better conversions you're going to get. So you have to experiment. So entrepreneurship, there's a ton of other things that you can add, like creative entrepreneurship. That's another one that's only got 8 million. We had social entrepreneurship that had 6 million. Shark Tank, right? Because people, maybe 22 million people like Shark Tank, and that has to do with startups and investing and entrepreneurship and a bunch of other things, right? And maybe they would be interested in my kind of stuff. Not that it's like Shark Tank, but maybe similar demographics would enjoy my kind of content, right? Because I create small startups on live streams. So interesting, right? But that's a good first little test. Now, if you want to really narrow down your audience, right? Because currently the potential reach is about 8 million people, right? Because I targeted specific locations at specific ages with a specific thing, right? There may be 470 million people that are interested in entrepreneurship across the world, across everything. But when I narrow it down to 14 to 18 in these certain parts of the world, there's only about 8 million people, right? Which is still a solid amount, very nice and broad, which means my cost is going to be relatively low. But I'll still get good results because entrepreneurship is the people that I'm targeting. If I wanted to narrow this down, for instance, I was experimenting with sending people directly to my Twitch profile, which is where I do a lot of my live streams, to get them to follow. When I was experimenting with that, I wanted to make sure that people also understood what Twitch was, right? And that they had a Twitch account. And the best way that I could really think to do that was narrow it down. So I clicked, what was it? I clicked narrow audience, and then I put in Twitch, right? So Twitch is not, this one is for work, if you can kind of see down there in the corner. That one's for work employers. We don't want that. We want Twitch as an interest. Twitch website, right? I probably should have done Twitch website. Yeah, probably should have done Twitch website, or maybe Twitch gameplay. But yeah, either of those work, right? So I would probably do Twitch website, twitch.tv, right? So we have 37 million people there. Now we've dropped it down to about 1.4 million people, right? But these are people that know what Twitch is, that have probably visited Twitch and likely have an account, and people that are interested in entrepreneurship. So the overlap is really nice there, and they may be significantly more likely to actually go follow my my account on Twitch, right? So that's how you narrow down the audience if you really want to. But generally, if I'm just trying to target towards people in general, let's just go with entrepreneurship. Let's just set it there. So we have a nice broad 8 million people to work with. Languages, this is important. I'm gonna want people to speak English. You can do English UK, English US. I just do English all because that captures both of them. And now it's dropped down to 4.1 million people, right? So cool, awesome. We have a nice set of 4 million people, and this gives you estimations on how many people you're gonna reach. So with $5, I will likely be getting 32 to 92 people to click my link, right? And go to my website, which is, first of all, pretty insane, right? For $5, you can get at least around 30 people to click on your link and go to your website. That's pretty nuts. People that are very directly interested in entrepreneurship and are in high school in your demographic. As I said, Facebook is really, really cheap. So you're gonna want to experiment with that. And this is where you get into the actual ad. So placements, automatic placements, it recommends automatic placements, but there are a ton of different ads that Facebook actually runs on their platforms, right? Like I said, like story ads, when you go on your phone and you're scrolling through Instagram and you see a little story ad that says, hey, buy this hot sauce or whatever the heck, right? That's usually a video. It's usually a little video. It usually fits exactly on your phone screen. So it would be, I think, 9:16. That is a completely different setup, right, than the one that we viewed a second ago, the one on Facebook that we viewed from Taboola, right? Which was just a image, right? An image in a feed that was a completely different, I think it was actually like 16 by 9 the opposite way, right? Not 9 by 16, but 16 by 9. So completely different setup, completely different format. And as a result, automatic placements gets really annoying because it wants to run, when you click automatic placements, it wants to run on every single platform, right? It wants to run in every single place. And you want to optimize typically for the place that you're running the ad. So, and you could upload like 5 different versions of the ad so that Facebook can go all those different directions. But for simplicity's sake, let's just say that we are running 2 ads. Oh, excuse me, I spit everywhere. Let's say that we're running the ad in 2 places. We're doing 2 different kinds of placements. I don't like Messenger. I don't like Audience Network. I'm going to cut those out. But I do like Facebook and I do like Instagram. So I want to put it in the Facebook feed like we saw with Taboola. So you're just scrolling through the feed and you see it. And then Instagram stories, like the other one I was just talking about, on your phone, vertical video, when you're scrolling through stories and just checking out what your friends' vacations are, whatever the heck, right? So I only want it in the Facebook feed and the Instagram stories. So stories, I'm going to check off Facebook stories. I don't want in-stream. I don't want search. I don't want in-article. I don't want anything like that. I just want Instagram stories. Boom, right here. And then Facebook feed. So Facebook news feed. I don't want an Instagram feed. I don't want marketplace. I don't want this. I don't want right column. I don't want groups feed. I don't want Instagram Explore. I just want the Facebook news feed and I just want Instagram stories because those are the ones that I feel comfortable with personally, right? Or whatever. And this is where you optimize. So optimize for link clicks. Great. Daily unique reach, impressions. So this is where you can, again, optimize. So like we said before, reach is going to be more impressions. An impression is just, I saw your ad, right? So when I was scrolling through and I saw Taboola, that counts as an impression. And they were charged for that impression, right? If they optimized for impressions. I want to optimize for link clicks. That's what we initially did for the objective, right? Traffic. So I'm going to optimize for link clicks. That way I get charged based on link clicks. And if Facebook wants to charge me more money, they have to give me more link clicks. They don't just have to show it to more people, right? If that kind of makes sense. So cool, awesome. I'm going to run my ad set continuously. Well, now let's set and start and end date. So I'm running it for $5 a day, right? I want to spend $30 on this ad, just testing. So let's go and let's run the ad set from July 20th today to July 25th. Cool, for 5 days. Remember that's 6 days. No, that is 6 days, yeah. So 6 days, $30 overall, assuming $5 per day, right? So cool, awesome. That's the same, and then you can also set an ad spend limit. A spend limit, let's say maximum 30. Oh, this is daily. So let's set it to 5. Yeah, 5 daily is the maximum. Cool. Estimates aren't available for campaigns using campaign budget. Let's just delete that in that case. So I don't want to see these estimations. Those are nice, but you can limit spend, right? So cool, awesome. We've optimized for link clicks. Everything looks good. We're targeting in the right places. So let's go and design the actual ad, right? So let's say this ad name is going to be let's say, because we're doing the feeds. Yeah, we're doing the feeds and we're doing the stories. Okay, cool. So let's say, yeah, we want single image or video. You can do a carousel, you can do a collection. There's a bunch of, I would assume those are a little bit overwhelming. I feel like single image or video makes the most sense. Yeah, let's just call this test. I don't know. Not super important. So let's go and add media. Yeah, let's add some media. So I'm gonna add an image for my first one. Let's go find one of the old images that I used. Let's just use this screenshot of me on copy image best practices. Yes. So it doesn't work for the stories, but it does work for the feeds. Continue. Instagram stories. I don't want it on Instagram stories. Now let's go and add. Can I add another one or do I have to add it all at once? I might have to add it all at once. Clear all. Yeah. Let's add media, add image. We'll do this. and we'll do this. Yes, 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 because this is vertical. This is a vertical image, and that works really well on stories, right? And this one works really well. Well, this is annoying. So I might have to just create a separate ad after this. So let's just create one ad. Let's just create one ad. So in that case, let's go back to placements, and we'll create a separate ad set that does it in a different way. So let's just do the Instagram one. So I'm going to cancel everything from Facebook, and now we're only running the Instagram stories. Sorry, I usually run things separately, and I try to run it all at once, and it gets a little annoying. So now we got that. Let's go back here. Let's add a video. Let's add one of the old videos that I used. This is the most recent one that I used, I think. Yeah. Yes. Okay, cool. And let's pretend we're running it to my Twitch. So I'm going to grab my Twitch link, and I'm going to go here, and I'm going to drop the Twitch link, right? Just as an example. This is my little ad. Hey, my name is Max. I build companies and live streams in front of you, teach you how to get started as an entrepreneur. You can swipe up and follow me on Twitch if that sounds interesting. That's essentially all I did. And I can actually show you, let's actually view that ad. I think I'm sharing audio. I want to show you what a typical ad looks like. Yes. Let me see if I can share audio. Share computer sound, yes. So cool. Let me know if anybody can hear this. Hey, my name is Max, and I build tiny little companies in front of you on live streams to teach you how to get started as an entrepreneur. You can swipe up, and you can follow me on Twitch if that sounds interesting. Awesome. So I just designed that in like Premiere or something really simple, right? But it's a little vertical video. It is 9 by 16 in dimensions. And I make, as you can clearly see, this is marketing month for me. So I have like a ton of different ads that I'm running. These are all the different kind of ads that I'm doing. This is a YouTube ad. This is a Square video ad. This is another Instagram personal ad that was working really well. A bunch of different little things that I'm testing, right? But I have a nice little camera. I film it, and then it just pops up here. I upload it, and it looks nice, right? And typically, just a little piece of advice, if you are running on Instagram stories or Facebook stories, the goal is to swipe up, right? So whenever the goal is to swipe up, you want to give them like 3 seconds at the end to swipe up. That's what that little animation at the end is for, just so they don't like miss it, right? Because if your ad ends right at the end, right when you say swipe up, nobody has time to swipe up, and they don't actually swipe up. So that's the reason for that. But that's a basic little ad, right? Me sitting in front of a microphone, chit-chatting, all that jazz. So primary text, this would appear on other ads, right? So if I go to, let me just go to Facebook again, just to show you what it looks like. Here, TikTok's been advertising to me too, because I've been running a bunch of ads, and they know that, so they want me to run ads on TikTok. But this would be the primary text, right? So if I was running on a Facebook feed ad, this would be the primary text. You just write something like, ready to learn entrepreneurship. Whatever, I can't spell, but you get the point, right? Ready to learn entrepreneurship, something enticing, something interesting, something like, ooh, I want to click on that. Whatever, right? Destination website, website URL. I popped in my Twitch account because let's pretend let's pretend we're running it to my website. So we'll go to entrepreneur.blog and input that right there, right? Boom. Bada bing, boom. What do you mean my URL is invalid? No, it is not. That is so rude. That is so rude of you. Let's try that again. Maybe I made a mistake. So boom. There we go. Now it likes it. Cool. So that'll go to my entrepreneur.blog site. Great. Where I have a little email sign up, right? Where they can go and they can enter their email. Cool, right? So that's awesome. And that's going to be important later. But cool. Now it sends them to my website. Awesome possum, Yahoo. In this ad, though, it does say swipe up and follow me on Twitch. So I probably would want to put like a different ad that says swipe up to subscribe to my live streams, right? And they would go and they would put their email in, right?
I'm just gonna unmute myself and jump in. There's a couple questions in the chat. So
Awesome.
Talina asks, it looks like you had many different varieties of your ad. Do you suggest having different size ads? And you mentioned Premiere. Are there any other softwares that you would recommend?
Awesome. I had many different varieties in my ad, mostly because those are different ad formats, right? So different size ads is only important if you're doing different formats, right? Like I wouldn't change the size of this ad if I was running it on the same place, right? If I have run like 5 different story ads, right, on Instagram stories. They're all the same dimensions. They all, you should all put them in the same dimensions because they always work in the same kind of way, right? Maybe you could zoom yourself out. Maybe you could maybe I should be sitting back a little bit more so I'm a little bit smaller in the frame, but the actual size of the video is going to be the same. But yes, you want to do different varieties of the ad. This is like the 5th iteration. Here's another example, actually. I want to show you. This is the one that I was doing for Instagram followers before. Hey, my name is Max, and I run Entrepreneur, and I teach people like you how to get started with entrepreneurship online. You can swipe up, you can check out my profile on Instagram. I do lots of interviews, lots of recordings, and I do live streams to teach you how to get started. I would love to see you there. So that was a much more basic version of essentially the same thing, right? But that was the goal, was to swipe up and follow my Instagram, right? And to answer your question, Kate, yes, if you're running ads, anybody can swipe up. You can send them anywhere. But if you're doing personal stories, you need 10,000 followers to get the swipe up feature. And you don't need to run ads for that. That's all free. But if I have 10,000 followers on Instagram, Instagram's like, you're cool. And then they give you the ability to link actual links to your personal stories, right? So that's really interesting. But no, to run ads, you're totally good. You can run ads no matter who you are, with as little as like $1 per day.
Thank you, Max.
And then Premiere. So for Talina, you mentioned Premiere. You can really edit with anything. I use Premiere just because I have it. I bought it. I might as well, right? And it's the same program that my editor uses. So we like to be able to share Premiere files. I've seen people use iMovie. I've seen people use a bunch of different things. It really doesn't matter a ton. There are actually programs online. Actually, I'm gonna see if I can find something. There's a program called Splice that I use. That's just actually an app. I wish I could show it. There's a bunch of different things. There's a whole bunch of different programs. Does not need to be Premiere. I would recommend Splice on your phone if you want to just experiment with a free little thing on your phone. Premiere works. I'm trying to think of like better video editors. I wish there was a free one that didn't have to be Premiere. Let me see. Hold on. Free video editing software. I'm curious. On a video editor, is there anything that I have used before? You can use Canva. Canva actually works okay. It's a little bit more tough to use. It's not as oriented towards video. It's more for visual. But if you have a video, yeah, I'd probably recommend Premiere personally. But really anything that's a basic video editing software works totally fine. Yeah, iMovie should work totally fine. You just have to film in vertical, but you can do that with your phone, right? So yeah, I don't know. Sorry, I don't have a more defined answer to that. I personally use Premiere, and that's the one that I've been using forever, so I can't really recommend too much beyond that. But yeah, so, and then for most other scenarios, you're probably going to want to do Square, because Square takes up more room on the feed, right? So if you're doing a feed ad or anywhere else, you probably want it to be Square, because Square takes up more like vertical room when you're like scrolling through the feed or something. So Square is probably going to be what you're going to be using for almost everything else, in terms of videos. But yeah, and then also for most ads, videos work better than images. And I know videos are a little bit annoying to make and things like that, but usually videos are going to be better in terms of conversions. So yeah, and it's always nice to have a face on the ad to say, hey, this is me. This is what I do. Check my stuff out, right?
So Max, I didn't want to interrupt, but I did want to let people know. Some people have asked me if we have recordings of this workshop so that they can go back again and go through this, follow along. And yes, the answer is yes. We obviously will have recorded this, and it is going to be available for you within about 48 hours maximum in our YouTube channel, just to let people know.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. Yeah, because I am like kind of rushing through this a little bit. This is a lot of information all at once. Yeah. The way that I learned this, nobody taught me this. I essentially was just like, somebody was like, Facebook ads are pretty easy. And I was like, okay. And I just went in here and I just started fiddling. And this has been the result of me fiddling for like 6-ish months consistently, right?
So it's nice for somebody to show. Yeah, no, I mean, even though it's fast, I'd rather have it fast and have somebody to show us than us have to, figure it out on our own. So it's
Totally
awesome.
fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm glad. But yeah, any questions, anything like there? Here's the YouTube link. Ooh, yes, awesome. So cool. And then also this is important call to action, learn more. Let's say subscribe, right? So if I was doing to my live streams, I would say swipe up and I would want to say subscribe, right? Some places like YouTube will allow you to like type in your own one, which is a little bit weird because I'm sure you can make some weird call to actions. But yeah, learn more is the basic. You can do a ton of different things. Donate now if you're doing like a little supporting a cause. Download if there's a download. Listen now if it's a podcast, stuff like that, right? But generally, watch more is the one that I use, or in this case, it would probably be subscribe, right? If I'm telling people to subscribe to my live stream, right? So yeah. You can also add like polls. There's a ton of different things that are available here that I'm not going over. But yeah, I would just highly recommend you experiment with it. This is something that I haven't done before. This is something I really want to try out. It's called the Facebook Pixel. And there are pixels on literally every advertising platform on the internet. But a pixel is basically like, I would connect this pixel to my website, right? The Facebook Pixel. And when I connect it to my website, it tracks when people move from my ad to my website and then what they do on my website. So I haven't used that before. I can't go into that right now. I'm still experimenting with it. It's going to be like something that I test over the next 2 weeks because this is a big marketing month for me. But if I wanted to track how many people actually click subscribe, like they click subscribe the button, right? After putting in their email, I could use the Facebook Pixel, connect it to my website, and actually see on the Facebook Ads Manager, not just how many people click my ad, but how many people actually go and convert, right? And in that case, if I was doing the Facebook Pixel, we're not going to do it right now, but if I was doing the Facebook Pixel back in the objective at the beginning of the campaign, I probably would have wanted to set it towards conversions, right? Because conversions track what the Facebook Pixel does. And a conversion technically is like the end goal of what you want somebody to do from the ad. And the end goal for the ad in this case would be to put your email in, right? So, but you want to look up Facebook Pixel. I'm still figuring it out. It's a little bit funky, but it's not that hard to set up from what I've heard. But that's just a way if you want to very directly track conversions, right? You can do that in some places, like for instance, my Twitch. I couldn't do that. I don't own my Twitch profile. That's Twitch's thing, and I can't track who actually clicks that follow button. So that's impossible for me when I'm swiping up to Instagram, right? And I put Instagram as the link. I can't track that because it's on Instagram, but I can track it on my personal website or any other website or any little landing page that I own. So good to know. Let's confirm it all.
While it's confirming, Talina also asked, you mentioned you have an editor. What exactly does that person do for you? And did you start by yourself?
Good question. So I'm actually going to turn this off as soon as it is done because I don't want it to start spending money immediately. Well, actually, it won't start spending money immediately because there's a review process. Anyway, so great question. I do have an editor. I partnered with them like a year ago. I've been doing the live streams for about a year and a half, and I've been working with my editor for videos, for other things, for about, I want to say like 9-10 months, maybe a year. I did start by myself. I edited all my own videos. I still edit a good portion, about half of my videos, but since most of my content is via live streams now, I want to just kind of chop up those live streams into different little bits, and that's the main thing that my editor does now. But usually, from before, I make a ton of videos on LinkedIn, right? I make a little bit less now, and I usually just chop up what I'm doing with my live streams, but I used to make a ton of videos on LinkedIn. And that's a lot of work, and I wanted to outsource that. I did start by myself. I did it for about a year by myself and posted all the videos that I personally made. It's really not that hard to learn video editing. I have a friend that does video editing, and he's really good at it. And he was like, here's how I do it. And I was like, cool. And then I just started fiddling around with it, right? But I edited all my own videos for about a year. And then I met Joe. No, maybe it was like a year and a half ago that I met Joe. Yeah, because I was doing presentations around town. And he's like a big mentee of mine now. He's really, really cool. But I pay him, and he does most of my video editing now. Yeah. Mostly right now, he just chops up my live streams. I send him the live stream at the end of Wednesday after it's done. I say, hey, chop this up into highlights so I can post it on my newsletter and on my website, and then take a little clip out of there, write some show notes down and just basically like summarize the live stream, right? So I can post it on my website and on my newsletter. He does that. He sends it back to me. I pay him at the end of every week. And if I have any little extra projects, like I want to make a video or I want to make something else, I just send him the raw files and say, fix it up for me. And it's great. It's a really, really cool little partnership. And he does it really cheap for me because we are friends, and I have helped a few little business concepts of him. But generally, yeah, an editor is a great idea if you can afford one. So yeah, I don't know. Partnering with somebody that also is really good at media is also a great idea. But genuinely, video editing is not hard. It is just time consuming. And that is the only thing. It's like it was super easy for me to learn. Premiere and most other video editors are like obscenely easy to figure out once you dig into it for a few hours and just look up some YouTube tutorials. You can learn everything on YouTube. It's insane. It's unbelievable. So yeah, that's what I would recommend. Yeah, started by myself. Been going well so far. Would highly recommend video content if you can handle it. It's super fun. This is a really great way to build an audience. So I'm gonna turn this off. Every single time you submit an ad, just so you know, it goes into review, where they send that to a person at Facebook, and the person at Facebook looks to make sure you're not cursing wildly or promising something ridiculous. And then they let you through, right? And actually it was funny because I ran an ad on Snapchat recently, or tried to, and they rejected it because I told people I could teach them to learn entrepreneurship, which I can, but they were like, you're promising something false. And I was like, thanks for the roast. Like it was very savage of them. But they didn't. Sometimes ads managers will be picky and they'll be a little bit weird, and you'll have to try different ads and different text and things like that. So
What do they think, entrepreneurship is not a teachable skill?
apparently not. How rude of them. I don't know.
What am I doing with my life then?
I know. Tell me about it. What am I doing with my life too? I don't know. I'm gonna try to make more ads because Snapchat looks like an interesting place to run ads. But cool. So now let's learn really, really quick how to A/B test. So the campaign is running. These are all my different campaigns. Facebook, I did a bunch of different little things. This is for Instagram followers. This is for Twitch followers. This was sending people to LinkedIn, and that didn't really work at all because of some weird conversion mess ups. But let's go back into the campaign. Here is our ad set, high school kids. And then we go here and we have test. This is the ad that we were running, right? So let's go back to the ad set. And this is where we continue to target, right? So we want to target more. So I'm going to duplicate this ad. There are ways to duplicate it within the original campaign, create a test, right? So new split test campaign where it split tests a bunch of different little things. I don't mess with any of that. I just run it in the original campaign and I just experiment with it. The point is like Facebook wants you to A/B test and they want to help you with that. I don't let them help me because I prefer to kind of like just watch the data as it goes. And I think there's some optimization that they help with. I don't know. I'm just going to show you how it generally works. But there are ways to like put it within, will user resistant budget and audience will not overlap. Yeah. So that's probably the better idea. Campaigns with campaign budget optimization cannot be tested. Interesting. So I don't know. There's a bunch of different little things. I'm just going to show you how to do it generally. I'm going to make a quick copy and duplicate it in the original campaign, right? So here's the copy, high school kids copy. I'm going to call this college kids, right? Boom. I'm going to send it to same place, website, same length, all of this, same audience, same general place. The only thing that I'm going to change is the age range. So instead of 14 to 18, I'm going to do, we'll do 18 to 22. Because that's the general age range that you are in when you are in college, right? Bit more people, right? Bit less link clicks, interestingly enough, because college kids are they have actual buying power, right? They are a more valuable audience to reach. So of course it's going to be more expensive. The way that it works is like when I run an ad, right? Facebook has a big back-end thing that will say like, okay, how much are they paying? How much is this other person paying? There's like probably like at any given like point, 100, maybe 1,000 people that want to reach, let's say me on the ad platform, right? And so when that Taboola ad was shown to me, there were probably 100, 1,000 other people that wanted to show an ad at that point. But Facebook was like, let's run a quick auction. Taboola won the auction. They get their ad run there. And every single time you see an ad, a little auction is run. So depending on how many other people want to advertise to that individual, it'll be more expensive because you're competing against more people, right? So in this case, a lot more people are advertising to college kids because college kids can buy more things. And so they want to run more people are trying to run ads to them. So it's more expensive for me as an individual to run ads there, right? But maybe they're more likely to click. Maybe they're a better audience. Maybe they understand my content a bit better. Who knows? Got to test. So the only thing that I'm changing in this ad set, same place, same interests, just entrepreneurship. Only thing that I'm changing is age. And I could go in here and I could actually browse demographics, education level, and I could say in college. Boom, right here, right? And I can actually directly target people that it knows are in college, not just the age range, because a lot of people don't go to college. I could target that as well, right? But I'm just going to say the age range in general, right? So boom, I changed one thing and I'm going to publish. It's running with the same ad, same everything, in the same campaign with the same goal. Everything's the same besides the age, right? So now I know this is running to 18 to 22-year-olds and this is running to 14 to 18-year-olds, right? And I'll get different data on what performs best. Let's go look at one of my old campaigns. So Instagram followers, this is good. Yeah, so I'm gonna go and click cost per result. Yes, cost per click. So as you can kind of see, I ran in Europe 2 different ads, right? In Europe, in college, Europe in high school. I did high school age, college age, in college, and in high school based on the demographics. I ran 4 different types of ads, all in Europe generally, all generally interested in like entrepreneurship, Shark Tank, social entrepreneurship, creative entrepreneurship, small business, different things like that, right? Gary Vee or whatever. I ran into all the same things. Only thing that I changed were the ages and the demographics in terms of whether or not they're in high school and college. I ran all of those, and as you can kind of see, in high school, in college, college age, and high school age were all approximately the same, but it looks like 9 cents. It cost 9 cents to get to a high school age individual that wasn't necessarily in high school, but was just in that age demographic. It cost a cent less per click on average compared to everybody else in Europe, right? So testing all these different things is really interesting. It takes a ton of time. What was the last one? Tons of testing was my big one. Yeah, I ran a ton of ads here. I ran to what was it? All in high school, all a bunch of different. This was a bunch of different interests. This was small business. This was Europe specifically with startups. And you'll see like I got like 2 cents per click if you're running to the general world, right? Because it's much easier to get clicks there. In Europe, it was way cheaper here. It was really, really interesting. You just have to test tons and tons of things, copy, paste tons and tons of things, and just see what works and what doesn't. It's really just about testing to see who cares, who's interested, and I don't know. That's how it works. But now that we have gone through this, here's a quick little tidbit. Reddit, YouTube, Google, Snapchat, Quora, Taboola. I even ran something on something called Stream Spread. All those different platforms all have their own ad managers, right? And basically every single ads manager across literally every platform that I just mentioned is basically the same thing, right? Twitter, LinkedIn, everything. All of them have almost essentially the same exact ads manager. They have slightly different ways of targeting and age and everything like that, just because like they have different ways of measuring that data. But now that you learned this, and if you go back over this, you have learned every single ads manager across everywhere, because everybody copied Facebook and they all want to make it easier for advertisers to run ads. So you now officially know how to run ads everywhere. So it's really, really interesting.
Yeah. So I have a question for you, Max. So what variables do you typically isolate to test? Is it age? I mean, what are the big ones that you look at most?
Yeah, so the 2 big ones that I look at are there's 3 big ones. It's like location, and I nailed it down that I know Canada. Canada loves entrepreneurship, especially Canada high school loves entrepreneurship. I've seen a ton of entrepreneurship type programs in Canadian high schools, which I'm like, holy crap, jealous of. Like, that's so cool.
Right.
So I wish America was doing more of that. But so location is really important, right? You want to test what are valuable followers. I've noticed that Europe is really cheap through some testing, but also they're relatively high quality followers, right? Plus it'd be cool to visit Europe one day and do like a meet and greet with some people if I have a large enough audience there in like 10 years in the future or something. So it's good to build an audience there. But Europe is relatively cheap and also pretty high quality. So location is one big thing. Second, keywords, your interests is probably going to be the biggest thing by far, right? Whatever your age is, whatever else, finding that right interest. I noticed that startups was really, really cheap as an interest. And so I targeted the heck out of startups, right? And then the last one is going to be age. you should generally know what your age demographic is. Mine is between 14 and 22 typically. But high school, I think high school kids like it a little bit more, but college kids understand it a bit more. It's a weird kind of balance you want to test. But yeah, age, location, and interest. And those are basically the three things that you should care about. But yeah, I don't know. The location should be relatively obvious. Age should be relatively obvious. And they should all be relatively obvious, but it's just testing different tiny little things in different places to see what works. Raj said, aside from Snapchat, what are some other promising places to run ads? So great question. I don't know if Snapchat is a promising place to run ads because Snapchat is for kids that like to thirst trap. Snapchat is a weird place. It's a really, really weird place. I have no idea. It's not productive, right, is the point. So for me, as an individual, if you're selling consumer items, they're great. But for me, who's promoting like, learn cool things, maybe Snapchat is the best place. I don't know. I've heard Reddit works amazingly well, but I got screwed. Look at my cost per click. It was 72 cents. That's literally like 36 times more expensive than it was on Facebook for essentially the same ad, right? So, and that's because Reddit hates self-promotion. And I think I framed the ad in a way that was like, hey, I do this, you should come check it out. And they hate that. So it's all about different places. Snapchat is promising just because like if you have consumer items for younger individuals, it works really well, I've heard. TikTok now has an ads manager thing. A little weird, also a really, really weird like kind of community and they expect different things. So you need to make the ads totally different, right? It's because like on Instagram, my ad worked really well because it was just, hey, here's a face. I'm really interested in teaching you something, right? And people care about that. But on TikTok, much shorter attention spans. So you're going to have to create a completely different ad, probably in the style of a TikTok, right?
Right, exactly.
Very, very weird. Yeah. So TikTok is a promising place. Interestingly enough, I got some of the best cost per clicks out of Quora and I didn't expect much from Quora. Quora is a little like question answering platform online, right? Where like you can search a little question. Yeah, it's great. And they have great SEO. So if you want to just like answer questions on Quora about your personal business, works really, really well. But I got
Quora. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I was just gonna say, I've never understood Quora because it seems to me like why wouldn't you just type the question into the search bar? I've never quite got it. I just don't understand maybe it's just not.
No, it's really, really funky. It's really, really funky. I don't fully understand it either. The only thing that I know is that like my cost per click from Quora ads, I spent $31. I got Facebook ads are by far the cheapest thing in the world, right? Like they're just insane because they have the largest audience. So of course they can advertise really, really cheaply. But I got cost per click 3 cents, right? For people that are looking up in English, probably in America and everywhere else, entrepreneurship specifically, and looking for answers to questions on entrepreneurship. To me, that sounds, and the click-through rate is way better than anywhere else that I was getting. Like to me, that's not, well, it was actually about average. But to me, that sounds like way better than anything on Facebook, than anything on some general thing, because people are actively searching, I want to learn about entrepreneurship, and they go and click for 3 cents per click. So didn't expect the heck out of that at all, but I would suggest testing a lot of different ad platforms based on where you think your audience lies. So
I love this because I mean that's what you're essentially like finding is this are these people the early adopters, and the fact that they're actually out there searching, that exact term tells us yes, that's exactly what they are. So that's cheap as can be.
Exactly. Yeah, it's super wild. So I don't know. Facebook isn't always the best option. Facebook is just a really cheap option to test, right? But and sometimes it works really well. But Quora has its own pixel, right? I could add my Quora pixel of there, and I would probably test conversion because maybe I get the cheapest cost per click, but people on Facebook are more likely to actually sign in their email. You would have to test the pixels and the conversions. I don't know yet. I haven't gone that far, but that's how you run an ad. So any questions anybody else has, would love to hear them. But now you know how to run ads literally everywhere else. It was exactly the same on Quora, essentially, from Facebook. It's crazy. Yeah, it's awesome. So cool. Yeah.
Questions from the audience? Do we have any more questions?
Any questions you got?
Rohan's asking to make sure to please fill out the survey so that we can get your feedback.
I would super appreciate it. Yeah, it always helps me because I want to do more of these.
Yeah, for sure. And
I'm very glad you like it, Selena.
Awesome. Any other questions from the audience? All right. Well, then I think with
Do we want to take a group picture of our
you remind me.
audience?
Smart
See?
man.
Right, this is why we keep you around. So go ahead and stop your sharing. We're going to go ahead and everybody can turn on their, if you wouldn't mind, go ahead and turn on your camera. And as soon as we get everyone's camera in there, we will take a photo. Oh, look at all your beautiful smiling faces. Hi, everyone. It's so nice to actually see everybody. See, I love doing this. This is so nice. Thank you for reminding me, Rohan. Everybody, if we can get you to turn on your cameras, and then we'll get going. A few more. Great, wonderful.
Love the peer pressure.
I know, right? Do it. Your professor tells you to do it. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and smile. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cheese. And I'm gonna get one of the next page because I know people were giving me a hard time because they're not in it all the time. So 3, 2, and cheese. Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Wholesome as heck.
Yeah, I know, right? And you want to, Max, you want to take it away? Do you want to, closing thought?
Yeah, sure. I'm Max. I basically, the reason that I knew how to give this kind of presentation was because essentially every week I do a similar presentation on my little live stream. If that's interesting at all, we have a lot of fun. I do it on Twitch, LinkedIn, like Twitter, everywhere, YouTube as well. And you can drop your little email there if you're interested in getting news about that. I do summaries every week, even if you can't catch the live streams. But yeah, this was marketing month for me, so this was especially related. Every week I ran a ton of ads on a bunch of different platforms. That's why I have all this open, all these different ad campaigns open, because I wanted to test where does my audience lie and how can I best find followers for my stuff, right? For the next 2 weeks, we're going to be promoting content. So if I make an article, right, or I make a live stream, or I make a video, or I make something cool that is content, how can I best share that to the rest of the world? I can post it on Reddit. I can post it on Indie Hackers. I can find niche little forums online. I can answer Quora questions. I can put it in different Facebook groups. There's a bunch of different ways that you can promote content that you're making in really clever ways that people see it more. And that's more organic. That doesn't cost anything. It's just a bit of time. And the next thing, I think the week after, we're going to be doing search engine optimization. So how can you best create content elsewhere? How can you be found when people are Googling how to learn entrepreneurship or whatever it is that you're selling and creating, right? But generally all of that is in marketing, right? And that is what this month is about for me. And next month, we're going to be doing no code education and experimenting with a bunch of different things. Point is, it's fun. If you're interested, would love it if you joined entrepreneur.blog. But yeah, other than that, I hope this is cool. And I think I'll be doing some more of these presentations with Tanya. Hopefully it'll be fun in the future. So.
Absolutely. We love having you, Max. We love having you. All right, everyone. Thank you. Have a great evening. And thank you again to Max. We will see you again next time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Max.
Thank you for joining.